welcome to the Cemetery Gates podcast featuring Xander Kane and Android Virus.
Hey, welcome back to the Cemetery Gates podcast. I am Android Virus, joined by my co-host, Mr. Xander Kane. How you doing, sir?
Hello, I'm okay, man. Just trying to get all the, pre-recording things together. You think I'd have timing down at this point in my life when it comes to sitting down to record. But hey, you know what? The whole show's postponed 5 days because I forgot what day it was. So my bad.
Hey, we're just, we're top level, top shelf podcasters.
Yeah. Yeah, full disclosure, since we've come back, since the stuff going on in the world, we've postponed twice and both have been my fault.
Well, I wouldn't say your fault. I would just say we do them when we can.
Yeah.
We don't, no pressure. That's what the cool thing about this podcast. It's no pressure zone, I'm on another podcast too. So it's like, those guys are a little bit more pressure because it's like every other Thursday, 6:00 on the mark,
Right.
So, and that's cool. But, with us, we're a little bit more relaxed and it gives us some time to digest the movies that we're watching, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, that's
these gems we're watching.
Oh, do we got a doozy show for you tonight?
Yeah, that we do.
This episode, I'll tell you what. But yeah, let's get into what we've been watching a little bit. I know that you and I always kind of like bat around what we've been watching or haven't been watching. So did you check out anything cool?
I did actually. Well, cool is, I guess, dependent on your thoughts, but yeah, I've been watching a ton of stuff. See, they switched my shift at work, so I have plenty of time to watch movies before I go to work. But one I caught up on that I wanted to see in the theater but didn't get a chance to was Brahms, The Boy 2.
Okay.
Which I liked way more than I thought I would. I thought it would be worse, or maybe, I don't know, but it's pretty cool. I probably should have rewatched the first one because I kind of forgot what happened in The Boy. I mean, other than the big reveal of what it is, but this one is a little more supernaturally.
Okay.
And Katie Holmes is great in it, and the little boy's good in it. It was all right. It wasn't half bad.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so,
then outside of that, I watched an awesome one called Itsy Bitsy about a spider that was badass.
Oh.
That one comes highly recommended. That one was a little cooler.
Itsy Bitsy Spider?
Or is Itsy Bitsy, yeah. It's just Itsy Bitsy. It's pretty damn good. At least I thought it was fun. If you like creature features, yeah, the spider's cool little creature, it's like stuck in the house, haunting the family essentially. It's pretty good.
I do enjoy my creature feature films. Those are pretty fun. Yeah, I like. I mean, I'm always catching different movies that I've either seen, or it's been a long time since I've seen them, or so it's always refreshing my memories of what's watched and what's not watched. But I did check out Deathgasm, which was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that one.
I have. It's been a long time, but I remember really liking it, and it was much funnier than I thought it was going to be.
Right. It was pretty damn good, man. It was pretty funny. And then I wanted to talk to you about this, and I wanted to know your thoughts on this, but I did finally catch the Pet Sematary remake.
Yeah, I watched that too.
It's very different than the original.
It is.
I haven't read the book, so I can't tell you how it differs from the book.
Right.
I didn't necessarily hate it. it was just, I don't know, it was different, I guess you could say.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It caught a lot of hate.
It did catch a lot of hate. So I believe my thoughts on it was after I watched it was that I didn't hate it. I didn't love it either. I enjoyed parts of it, and I didn't feel like it kind of bastardized the other version or the book, in my opinion. Like too bad. Like some people were pretty, upset about it, and I was like, yeah, well, it's just a different movie. Like,
yeah.
It's
kind of its own thing. That's how I feel about it. That it's its own. It tried to separate itself from the original, but it didn't really stick with me.
Trying to get away from the original, but also kind of made itself forgettable. Really.
Yeah.
Like I really am trying to draw back on things that I thought was really cool in it, but I can't pull anything out. So
yeah, there's some decent gore factors, and I kind of feel like Pet Sematary, the remake, was put into production after the successful It, the theatrical version. I kind of feel like let's exploit a Stephen King film. So let's just redo Pet Sematary. Not that he doesn't have a million other freaking volumes of novels that you can pick from.
I know, right? But look at it this way: Stephen King's just laughing all the way to the bank. He made all these movies and all these books. They're paying for the rights, and then they get to pay for the rights again for another movie. So he's like double dipping. And if you're him, you're like, yeah, by all means, pay me more money.
He's the Dolly Parton of the horror world.
Try your hand at this one.
Yeah, Dolly Parton's written so many songs, and people are just, they made me a lot of money. So funny, man. Yeah, so that was cool. And then I made it halfway through The Lighthouse. I got to finish that.
Okay, I saw that listed under comedies, and I was like, what? Comedies?
It's out there. It's pretty funny.
Is it funny, though?
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny. It's weird. Right. I don't know how to take it. I don't know. It's pretty out there, but there's so I liked it so far, but again, I need to finish it. It's just fucking weird.
Yeah. So I've gotten into these like crime thrillers on Netflix, but like all from like Argentina.
All right.
And there's some stellar ones, which I think I talked about the Invisible Guardian the last time we recorded.
Yeah.
But the Invisible Guardian and Legacy of Bones are two that are kind of the same detective. Mm-hmm. Those were great. And then I watched another one called Perdida, which is also from Argentina, and it's just your crime thrillers, but they have strong female like lead characters that are great to see on screen and pretty cool stories. So if you're into crime thrillers, I'm just going to throw that out there. Check those out. They're great.
Nice. Yeah, we finished. Speaking of crime thriller, we finished up Ozark.
Oh.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal and pretty nerve-wracking.
Was the third season supposed to be the final season, or?
I don't know.
Oh.
They haven't really announced it. I suppose they could expand upon the story, but I'm also looking at it as where they left it off. Like,
okay, this is what you got. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't necessarily need any loops to be closed, but it also opened up more doors for there to possibly be, they could expand upon it, or they don't have to. So that's what I liked about it. So, yeah. So don't fall asleep on the podcast, sir.
I won't.
Yeah. I know you've been working hard. So. All right. So we're going to get into the movies that we've been watching, guys. I'm going to go over my movie first, and we'll go over your movie next. Tonight we're going to be covering 1987's Munchies, and then we're going to do your film. Was it 2019's Doll Factory?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cool thing I like about recording with you, man, is we always seem to pick movies that have some type of current theme. Like, it kind of just melds into each other. These are both like quote unquote horror movies with little creatures in them. Yeah. So yeah, which is really, that was, again, you and I usually do that. We'll pick out movies that we don't discuss them. It's like, this is my pick, right? This is my pick. And there's usually like a similarity. It's like, So my pick is Munchies. Let's go ahead and listen to the trailer, and we'll be right back.
Sweetwater, a new and inviting desert community.
Violation! This is gonna be a great day.
Filled with kind and loving families.
But I am your stepson.
I know, I always treated you like you was, didn't I?
Oh!
With mature and responsible teenagers. And then, one day...
Did you hear something?
Something odd appeared.
Oh, this is incredible.
Exactly what they are is uncertain.
I'm South American cockroach, Dad. I'm out of here.
Their origins are somewhat hazy.
It's an alien. Maybe an illegal alien.
And while their manner can be quite charming...
He's so cute. Can't we take him out of the bag now?
Their habits can be a little bizarre.
Paul, not so rough.
I haven't done anything yet.
Gross.
But you'd better treat them right.
You're not laughing anymore, are you, pal?
Because they're not necessarily nice.
Munchies.
Here, kitty. What is that?
What are they?
You sure that thing's a cat? Murder?
No one kills small tropical fish at live.
I'm on the case!
Just dropped in for a bite.
Munchies, starring Harvey Korman, from the creator of Little Shop of Horrors. Munchies.
You listen to the trailer of 1987's Munchies. Now, let me preface this. I do another podcast called It's Not Horror, okay? So basically, that podcast, we commentate over a movie that we all watch together that's not horror. And I was just kind of bullshitting. We were talking about our podcast, and or I was talking about our podcast, and this guy Scott Crawford on there, he goes, you should cover Munchies. I think you guys would be really good for your podcast. I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to take you up on that, man. And sure shit, I found it. And I sent it to you. And I pretty much texted Scott and said, fuck you, Scott. I will never get my time back. But, you know, that's the price to pay when we review shitty horror movies. The bottom of the barrel. And let me tell you what, this really scraped the bottom of the barrel for me. But to give you a little background, Munchies it's a 1987 comedy horror film starring Harvey Korman, Charlie Stratton, and some other people. And
the girl from Critters.
Critters, yeah, Nadine Van Der Velde. Yeah, she's from Critters. And it's inspired by, you know, the we'll say it's an exploitation Gremlins film. Right.
Yeah.
And so, and it's actually directed by that film's editor, Tina Hirsch. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I did not know that.
Yes, but it's got a very similar storyline too.
Oh yeah.
So, so basically, it's starring Harvey Korman, and he plays two different roles in it. He plays like an archaeologist. It's his nephew, and then he also plays like a greedy property owner who he plays throughout the whole movie more so than the other role of the
Uncle Cecil.
Yeah, and let me just tell you something. So basically, he's a space archaeologist, and he discovers a fossilized this little munchie, whatever it is, in a cave in Peru, and they reanimate it somehow. They bring it back to the United States. And his son and his girlfriend name it, and his evil twin brother, I guess it is his evil twin brother or whatever. He's a snack food.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just this weird entrepreneur guy who likes to sell beef jerky and shit.
It's cow snacks.
Cow snacks, yeah.
Uncle Cecil's cow snacks.
So they got this little gizmo / munchie, and it's weird. This little thing gets kidnapped, and then it becomes aggressive.
It speaks perfect English.
Perfect English. And then they chop him up into pieces, but instead of dying, he turns into 4 new pieces. So all 4 of these new little things, they like women, they like beer, they like attacking people, and they like junk food. They're just like the Gremlins. This is the fucking Gremlins.
Yeah, it's like the Gremlins bar scene, like over and over. So they like all the chaos that ensues. Like, you know, so there are some really funny things in this movie, like when the Munchies are doing the old lady car chase scene.
Yeah.
Like, that's really funny to me.
How do we drive this? Oh, no, wait. I'm getting it confused with your movie.
You are, but these scenes are very similar, which is hilarious that they have, like, a similar scene.
Yeah,
they're talking to each other. The Munchies are talking to each other about driving the car. And they're just, like, you know, terrorizing this old lady for no real reason other than just to be terrors, you know?
Yeah, they're Munchies.
There's also sorts of like a bunch of references to other movies in here. There actually is a huge Gremlins reference when Uncle Cecil is riding in his like RV or whatever, and his girlfriend has a tabloid and it says Gremlin on the front of the tabloid.
Yeah,
with like a question mark. Gremlin.
Yeah,
so it's kind of a little nod to Gremlins, which they're very aware of what they're doing. It's ripping off Gremlins.
Yeah, and the music, the acting, the cinematography is so cringy.
Yeah,
it is so bad, dude. Like,
so when I was watching it, I was trying to like put it akin to another like 80s movie. And the closest thing that I could like think of was like, okay, it has TerrorVision vibes.
Oh, dude.
But
I was just going to say that.
It's not as good as TerrorVision. Like, it's not even close. I mean, not that I think TerrorVision's like the most amazing thing ever, but it's at least watchable and has a little bit of fun to it. Like, everything in this movie is cringy. Like, the sets, like the house is so fucking 80s. Like, it does not. And even Uncle Cecil's wig is like ridiculous.
And then his son's hair is so like 80s permy, mullety, and
yeah,
it's like you said, TerrorVision. That's the vibe, the acting vibe, at least, like the production vibe, the acting vibe. It's just like, I felt there was a lot of inside jokes that were like funny to the people who wrote it or the cast and crew that the audience were like, what? Like, that doesn't, like, to me, it was like a one big inside joke, a lot of the shit. But anyways, as we fast forward through the story, the Munchies wreak terror
at the mini golf.
At the mini golf that he's trying to open, and then they get some cop involved that's like a total, like, how would you explain? They it's just a rip on like law enforcement and a rip on like military, just the overzealous military guy. Like, hey, I'll sleep with you if you go and help me kill these Munchies, or we're on a special secret. He's all, really, I got to be a part of this. Run a secret mission. You know, it's just like he's
awful,
bumbling full idiot.
Yeah, like he's on a power trip, but also he's just kind of aloof.
Yeah,
like he wants to be in charge and show you that he's in charge, but he's really, like, even Uncle Cecil's like pushing him around half the movie, like being like, "Shut up, please, this is over." Like, the cop's not in charge. Uncle Cecil is when he's around.
Yeah, Uncle Cecil's in charge. He's got everybody in his pocket, and then they're on their way. But his chick's hungry. She wants a hamburger. And she's very flirtatious with other people right in front of him, but he's oblivious to it. And then they go and get a hamburger from a hamburger joint. But the hamburger joint's ran by a bunch of little people.
Yeah, I noticed that. So when you see them all, I didn't realize it until like you see them all run away, and there's like, oh, it's like 10 little people just ran out of there.
Yeah, like right. It's like, hey, let's just put little people in the movie. It'll make it's funny.
Yeah, like, I know it'll be funny.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, so that I didn't get. But they all, like, some of them end up dying if they don't all dying, and the Munchies are in the hamburger joint, which is weird. And then they make it to the golf course, and they somehow stop them. And what do they do? Crush them or something? I forget.
They get turned to stone.
Yeah, I forget, dude. Like I gotta say, I tapped out like mentally. I was
fighting in like the warehouse or whatever, and he sprays something on them, and they turn into stone.
So,
and oddly, these like little creatures, like another kind of ripoff too. So, did you notice their little, like when they got their little leather jackets and stuff, or like the outfits from the space guys from Critters?
Yes, another ripoff of little creatures from somewhere.
Yeah, Critters came out the year before this.
And let's just talk about how awful the animatronic thing are on these. These are puppets, and they're nowhere near the critter type. They're nowhere near the gremlin type or even ghoulies. They're really like shitty puppets. They're almost on par with Rock and Roll Nightmare gooey puppets at the end. They're just not. And then there's a scene when one's going in the water in a waterfall, and it's like they just took the toy of a munchie and just like pushed him over a waterfall, and there's no movement. He's just sitting there, just okay, we're gonna pose him like this. Like they cheaped out on any type of animatronics, and I feel like a lot of them are just like puppets or moved with sticks, just not good. But anyways, man, like I said, when I was done watching this, I was pretty tapped out. I was like, wow, that was exhausting. That was like really exhausting to watch. Even my son, who usually watches these movies, he's like, he got up right in the middle of it. He's like, this is awful. And I said, I know, I'm sorry, but I have to finish it.
We're too far in.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there organizing boxes of toys that I have, like action figures and stuff. I'm like, oh, this one's going. I'm watching Munchies while I did that. So anyways, yeah. So basically, this movie does have a couple sequels that have nothing to do with the original film except for the titles.
Munchie, for the better.
Munchie and Munchies Strike Back. Yeah. And they deal with the same thing, like a wish-granting creature or a little impish creature. Like it's Munchie Strikes Back. It doesn't even look like the other Munchies. It's like a family film, just to kind of give you a heads up. And then Munchie is the same thing. It's a Roger Corman film, but it's like that one has what's her name in it? Dom DeLuise is in that one, and then Jennifer Love Hewitt makes that one's like awful too. From Lonnie Anderson's in it, so so. We're going to avoid watching those. I'm just going to let you know, because if they're in the same
hard pass.
Hard pass. Yeah. So you could actually find this film. I believe it did come out. Who did it put it out? Shout Factory, possibly in a 2-pack.
Maybe.
It's like a Blu-ray. Damn. I know that there was some type of 2-pack. Oh yeah. Munchies and Munchie. Yeah, it's a double feature. It's a Corman double feature.
Oh, so okay.
It's on Blu-ray too. It got a Blu-ray, and it's Scream Factory put it out actually.
They can keep it.
Yeah, I'm not buying that for fucking $25. Sorry, I'm not buying Munchies or Munchie. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I'm gonna give this movie. For the mere fact that it was like a psychic vampire and sucked my energy out, I'm gonna probably give it like a 1.5 out of 5.
You're more generous than I.
Yeah, and that's just because the effort, the effort they gave into it.
There is a part of me that wonders if I had seen this when it came out, if I would have appreciated it more. Like, I just don't think it aged well at all.
Dude, it's got Harvey Korman in it.
But it's not good. I would only give it a 1 for me. There's not much to it. Like, there's a few funny moments, but man, this movie feels like it's 4.5 hours long when you watch it.
That's what I'm saying. It's fucking exhausting.
And it's not. It's like 80 something minutes.
It's 83 minutes. And by the time you're done, you're like, oh my God, that like sucked the life out of me.
Yeah, it's I won't be revisiting it again. However, it has an awesome poster.
I mean, that's maybe the only selling point. Maybe that's why.
Yeah. It's a good poster, guys. Hey, if you want to see it to see the awfulness, by all means, you can watch it, and you can at least see the nice lady from Critters, who apparently was also on the Jag TV show. I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
She apparently has quite the career after. Apparently, Munchies did not kill her career, so.
Well, I wonder if she did it as a favor to somebody, you know.
Yeah, maybe
somebody did a favor to somebody for something for this to be in this movie, because I have a feeling that Charlie Stratton, the nephew, didn't really probably do a lot of anything else. He seemed almost like a damn like a weird like comedian, like budding stand-up comic from LA or something. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he does have a funny scene earlier in the film with Uncle Cecil where he's playing hacky sack, and Uncle Cecil's like, hey, play hacky sack with me, Uncle Cecil. He's like, what, that damn game you hippies play?
Yeah, that's a hippie game. Yeah, so he's not been in the. I mean, he's got an acting career, but I don't know. It's a very strange film. But anyways, there you have it. Munchies, don't watch it. And if you hate yourself, watch it. So there you go. All right, guys. Up next, we're going to go ahead and review Mr. Xander Kane's pick. And that's 1989 or 1989's 20. No, it's 2014. Earlier I said it was 2019.
Yeah, I don't know what year you said.
I said 2019, but it's 2014. And we're going to go ahead and listen to the trailer for Doll Factory.
What year you said?
I said 2019, but it's 2014. And we're going to go ahead and listen to the trailer for Doll Factory.
You don't think this is a bit much?
Dude, guys, look.
It's fine. There's like a whole room full of them over there. It's okay.
This place must have been a doll factory.
Okay, in order for this to work, everyone has to do exactly what I say.
All right.
All join hands. Jam tibi malan spiritus.
Derek, don't touch that.
You like that, you dirty...
Seriously, get the hell out of here!
That's starting to hit me now.
All right, we went ahead and listened to Doll Factory, the trailer, and I'm gonna let you tackle this one, buddy.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Hey.
So, Doll Factory, much that you would assume by the title, this is kind of done in the vein of Puppet Master and all the other, little possessive like dolls and all that shit. So the way this one starts out is it starts out in like 1976, and you have like two cops in this warehouse with this like
Halloween 76.
Yeah, at Halloween 1976, and they're in this factory. There's these two cops, and then like this random guy that's reading spells from a book. He's a witch or something. And the dolls are coming to life in this factory, and of course start like killing everybody. And these cops just so happen to have the worst freaking aim in the entire world, trying to kill these little dolls that are running around, just like killing everybody. And the guy's trying to cast a spell to put them away. And so, after all that scene ends, he casts a spell, puts them all away, and it flash forwards to Halloween present day. And you're just at a shitty kid's Halloween party and they are, getting bored of being at the party. And then one of them decides that it would be a really fun idea to go do something else. And the one girl pulls out her like spell book that she found from her aunt or whatever that was a witch. And she's like, hey, let's go conjure some ghosts up at the old factory. And so they all go to the old factory, and they don't know it's a doll factory when they go there. They just think it's an abandoned factory. So, much like what horror movies would tell you, if you take a old spell book into a spooky place, you're probably going to conjure up some shit that you don't want to see. And so when they do that, the ghosts that they locked up the dolls that got kind of locked up in 76 are out to free to run the world, and they immediately start killing these kids. Like the first kill, they cut this girl's legs off, like completely, like decapitate both of her legs, and cut off both of her legs, and then she gets like decapitated in half. And the gore scenes here are actually really good. Like the blood spray off the legs, and just the way her head like falls back when they decapitate it. Like it's actually really great effects. Like they spent more money on the blood effects than they did the dolls.
Yeah. They are some pretty damn good, like pretty good scenes as far as blood is concerned. I mean, I do got to say, like, it does set the pace right in the beginning. From right in the beginning, the factory scene as definitely a horror comedy. Because that was their intention the whole time. Like, and they make it very clear, which makes me think that makes the movie much more enjoyable. Yeah, because you have like the guy who's helping him put the book away. He's like this. I almost thought he was Beetlejuice at first. You know, the little black dude.
Yeah, from Stern Show.
Yeah, but it wasn't him. It was just a little black dude that was wearing this outrageous afro wig and buck teeth, or I don't know if those are his real teeth. I don't know. And then there was a funny part in the beginning where, like, you know, one of the cops is dying, and he's like, "Hey, take care of my wife for me." He goes, "Now that you're saying it, you know, I was thinking I could really take care of your wife for you." He's off. "If you touch her, I'll fucking kill you." And it's like, you're okay, like you're already dying. You know what I mean? So that was pretty funny. I'll give him that.
Yeah, and the dolls themselves have like crude humor, and they say like crazy shit the whole movie. But I think it's actually funny. Like the delivery is funny on these little dolls. But like I said, the dolls are just basically, looks like they took one doll and just made one doll and just cloned it over and over. And like it's just literally a doll. Like you can tell their lips don't really move. And when they like run across the screen, you can just tell somebody's got like fishing line, just like hopping it along the way. But yeah, so they start killing all the kids in the factory, and two of the kids escape while they leave their other friends in there to die. And then they go to the sheriff's office, and the sheriff, of course, is a total like jerk. And then when he realizes they're the old doll factory, he starts like cussing them out and tells them to get the fuck out of the police station. Like, he doesn't believe him.
Like, and what's so funny about the sheriff is like he was like a young dude, a young deputy in 1976, and then here you are like 30 years later, just about, and he's 40 years later, I guess, and he's still the same age, but they like try to age him like with a white beard or something.
Yeah, they put like these white rows in his beard. It was really funny.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking funny.
And then so when the other kids get like deterred from the cop, they go back to the girl's house, and her brother, of course, is like a computer hacker. And they like figure out, you know, what happened in the factory and all that. And that puts them in touch with the same guy that helped stop the dolls in 76. So they team up with this guy who now has a Santa beard glued to his face because he used permanent glue on his face. So he gets back into the fold, and, you know, he comes in and just tries to help them get their stuff together. But like much like in Munchies, there's a hilarious car driving scene where they get in the car and yell at each other and call each other like stupid cunts for not knowing how to drive. And then there's another great kill, another random girl where the baby goes inside her to kill her.
Oh yeah, but let's take it back further, just a little bit before one kill I do got to recognize this because they're like at a high school party and there's some high school bullies and like they're like stoners or drunks or whatever and they pull to the side of the road and this is where the Munchies get their car. Like they kill these bullies and one of them's taking a piss on the side of the road and he gets his dick cut off.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what happened there? And his dick's like laying on the floor and I'm like, okay. This is definitely a scotch better than my movie because at least this fucking movie has gore in it.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of gore. Like they go straight through. Like I said, the baby goes home, for lack of a better term, and then another one like jumps through the dude's stomach. There's definitely good gore in here, for sure. But the movie, like at this point, the movie kind of loses a little bit of speed when the demon like gets summoned back to the doll factory. So it's like an actual. It's not just a doll, like this guy's collecting spirits for the dolls or whatever. And the story, it stops being kind of funny at that point. Like it's not as humorous. The gore slows down in the third act as they're trying to explain away all this silliness. But yeah, that's really just kind of how, like, it just kind of, to me, I thought it was going really, really good. Then we get to that third act and it's like, eh.
Yeah,
I mean, the sheriff's death was pretty damn cool.
Yeah, well, and what's really funny about this movie is, okay, so they're like the surviving couple of the seance where they brought the dolls alive.
Yeah,
to begin with.
Yeah,
because
they're all in.
Yeah, because they go, because the college kid or the high school kids, they go to the haunted doll factory, and then the doll factory, and then they bring the dolls to life, and then they start attacking and killing everybody. But they grab her little brother, who happens to be, he has a sword. He's like this D&D nerd. I don't know what he is.
Yeah,
he's running around the movie with the fucking sword the whole time. But when they get to the doll factory, the person who's controlling the dolls is like a Russian. What is he, like a Russian? I don't know what he was, like a Russian brujo, a Russian bad guy.
Something like that.
Yeah, he was like a Russian bad guy. So he gets into, his ghost gets into a sword fight with the little brother,
who has like the equivalent to like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's like a green lightsaber that he's doing battle with.
Yeah, and they're like sword battling at the end, and the ghosts come back to help them, and it just rides off the rails at that point. And then the black dude with the white beard, who still looks like he's 25, comes and helps them too.
Yeah, but even with all that said, I still like up until I think this is better than any of Full Moon's lame ass attempts at bringing back Puppet Master in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Just because the Puppet Masters are awful the last at least 10 years. They've been awful. There's not a single good one. This one at least executes 2/3 of the movie very well. It's silly with the dolls. I mean, from the get-go, you see the doll, you're like, oh, this is ridiculous. Like, all right, cool. I can get along for this ride. And man, if they could have just polished up that third act, I think it would be talking about something very different.
Yeah, it didn't fall off the rails for me. I thought the gore factor was there. There's definitely a nudity factor there. The part where the little doll crawls up the chick's pussy and turns her into a skeleton, that's really funny. There's some dick cutting scenes. There's a lot of like really funny, shocking scenes in this film. And like you said, it seems like they just put a huge amount of their budget towards the gore and the practical effects and the better CGI than what you or I could do with our phones or our computer. I'll put it to you that way.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, but I actually, so I'll rate this movie. I'm probably going to rate it higher than you because I would watch this again in a heartbeat. I think it's above average from any other movie like it. There's a lot of doll movies out these days. But I think this one's actually good just from the gore, and it's just a fun time for the first 2/3 of it. I think it's really fun. It's funny. It's a 3 out of 5 for me. Like, I think it's actually pretty watchable.
Well, I will give it a 3 out of 5 because it doesn't try to pretend It doesn't try to pretend what it's not. And I mean, right away from the get-go, you're just by the lines in the movie, like the script itself, you're like, okay, this is a comedy horror film, and this is what they're going after. This is their niche audience, and I get that, and I respect that. And it was just a really fun, low budget, maybe something you would see on Showtime late at night.
Yeah, and
super
I guess
late.
I haven't seen a movie like this style that's been actually as good as this one in a while. Like, I mean, I'm probably talking it up more than it actually. I mean, it's a 3 out of 5. But like, out of the other stuff I've seen, it's been a long time since I've watched a low budget like movie like that and be like, that was a pretty fun ride. Like,
yeah, it almost gave me the vibe of like Ginger Dead Man, possibly.
Yeah.
Like those types of movies, like what's another good one? Like Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
like those really weird. I mean, they're funny. You know what you're getting into. Black Devil Doll type of shit.
Yeah.
So it's a comedy, but it doesn't try to pretend with, and that's why it gets a 3 out of 5 for me too.
Yeah. So like when you sent me Munchies, I was like, just so everybody knows, a little behind the scenes. When you sent me, hey, this is Munchies, this is my pick, and I was like, oh, it's funny, I'm watching Doll Factory right now, and like I just turned it on, and I got like, I don't know, 15 minutes to it. I'm like, good Lord, I'm laughing my ass off. I was like, I'm gonna stop watching this so we could watch this with Munchies because it'll be a perfect pair. And it wound up working out pretty well.
I'll tell you what though, too, man. Like if you kind of look at the cover art for the film too, like, somebody definitely put some love into this. So we'll give you that. And I mean, yeah, there is the cover that you have on because you watch this on Amazon. So you have that cover, but then there is also like the official like DVD cover, like the movie poster, and somebody really took some time and doing that, and it's a really cool fucking poster. Like somebody drew it, edited it.
It looks like a dude designs. Looks like a Tom Hodge piece, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, it does look like a Tom Hodge, but I don't. Yeah, exactly. But anyways, it's in that vein. So yeah, man, 3 out of 5 for me on that one too.
Boom.
So I had fun with that one.
Yeah, glad you enjoyed it.
Cool, man. So we'll hopefully try to next go around. We'll try to do a little bit better. No more fucking requests.
I mean, we picked Las Vegas serial killer, so
yeah, and you picked. Let's see, a few years ago, you picked Bloodbeat, which we never ended up watching.
We watched, we didn't record.
Oh, we didn't record, yeah. So
yeah.
Bloodbeat's another one. So hey, I just wanted to give some love to a podcast called the Friday Nightmares podcast. The people that I podcast with on It's Not Horror, okay? Scott Crawford and Heather Powell. They do it's called the Fridays Nightmare podcast. So just wanted to give them a shout out and show them some love. They showed us some love on their podcast too. So
thanks guys.
Yeah, so they do some fun stuff. So anyways,
not to cut you off, sorry.
It's okay.
Next time I think we've talked about doing this for a while and we always like backtrack on it. Yeah. But I think we may have a new we're gonna start trying to do a short film every now and again. Try not to spoil it, more so just like to recommend to you guys like a cool short film to watch. Just we'll give you a little synopsis and director and whatnot and quick thoughts and leave it at that. So that way, because there's a ton of awesome short films out there these days that like not enough people are seeing. So I just wanted to share some with everybody and spread the love, man.
Absolutely. Also, before we go, wanted to give a shout out and congratulations to our old former, I guess you could say, editor / producer, Sean Breeding. He and my old podcast partner. He doesn't really do much of anything in the podcast world anymore, or editing, because he's a busy guy. Because he just had a set of twins. So
congrats, Sean.
Yeah. So good luck to him. And me myself being the father of twins. I'm holding my left hand over my mouth and pointing my finger at you, chuckling. So
I know what's coming.
Have fun. Have fun, because life is going to get turned upside down big time for you for the next 18 years at least. So have a good time, buddy. So yeah, man. So that's it. You guys know where to find us. That's always in the closing of the show where you can look for us, and we'll see you guys soon.
You've been listening to the Cemetery Gates podcast, featuring Android Virus and Xander Kane. Follow us on Twitter @AndroidVirus, @Xander_Kane, and @CemeteryGates66.